All right, hello, you guys. I'm back again for some more knockouts. I think in the past I've played a mix of strong players and weak players. Today, I think I'm going to try and make a run at 3,000 if it's possible. So I'll probably stick to playing most of these top guys here if I get the chance. So let's see. Let's see. I'll try and challenge some of these guys like Renato, Benolius, people along these lines, and see how it goes and go from there. So let's see. Let's see if anybody's gonna accept. I guess they're not gonna accept right now. Let's see. Who else is there then? Let's see. Maybe play someone like the Spartacus guy. Bryakin, maybe. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I'll start by playing against this guy mckel Bryakin. Played against him one of these other times as well. So let's see. I'll start with him. I will occasionally pay attention to the chat today, unlike the last couple of times. So if you have questions, go ahead and feel free to ask them. I'll try and flip screens every so often when I'm not playing. So I saw a few guys said way to smash Hansen yesterday. Yeah, that was a lot of fun actually. I played both him and Robin Van Camp in the previous day. I think they're both at the same location right now. I think they're both in Montreal. I did better against Eric than I did against Robin. I still did quite well against Robin as well, but I really hammered Eric. So felt a little bit bad for him, but that's how it goes sometimes. So all right, so Queen B3, Queen B6. Now, I know there's some trick with Bishop C2. I think I'm supposed to take here and play like C5 does not, can't remember right off, so I'm just going to play normal moves. I'll play Bishop D2, Knight D7, just castle along. Probably play Queen C2 and maybe H3, Bishop D3. A lot's going to depend on the breaks. Normally Black will take on C4 and then play for C5 or E5. So let's see what he's going to do. All right, so... Okay, so he castles. Now I'm going to drop my queen back to c2. Try and do something here on the queen side, maybe. See what he wants to do. Basically, as I said before, Black almost always is going to try to take on c4 at some point. But I guess in this case he doesn't want to, so I'm going to play c5. Probably he'll go queen c7. I'm going to play f4 to try and restrict all his activity here. No e5 breaks. He does have something like knight g4, I suppose, picking up a pawn, possibly. Not completely clear what that does. Okay, so someone just asked, do you know when you're playing against Magnus the secret accounts? I can't say for sure that I know when I'm playing against one of those accounts, but I will say that in regards to that, normally I can sense when I'm playing against someone who's quite good. Like, I won't be able to know it's Magnus or someone else, but generally I'll have a pretty good feel that there's something slightly off with who I'm playing, and so I won't be certain of who it is, but I'll have some sort of spider sense that it's someone that's someone good. Let's put it that way. So back to the game. Position's gotten blocked here on the queen side, but with the king side, I should say, but with both of our kings over here on the queen side, there definitely should be some fireworks. So he plays knight e4. I think I'm just going to retreat the bishop, protect the pawn here on g3. I think. Let's see. I'll play a3, just cautious moves. Probably knight g4 is what he'll do. I just want to play some simple chess, take with the queen, play like queen b3. I just want to play a4, b5, something along the lines of a king's Indian. Maybe I'll take on e4 too, because he can't take with the d pawn since this pawn here on e6 would hang. So let's see. Maybe he'll probably play. I don't know. He can maybe play b6, a6. He's going to play king c8 and try to run away now, which I think is a little bit ill-advised because after b5, I'm going to control all the breaks here. So I'm going to play rook c1 just to stop any b6 nonsense. He plays rook a8. Maybe he wants to play a6. A little bit unclear. I'll play king a2. If he wants to play a6, I'll just take on c6. So, okay, so rook b8. So I will play... Now, he's trying to do something over here on the queen side. b6 is not a threat. a6 still is. I think I'll play something prophylactic. Rook g1, play for some g4 pawn breaks. And we'll see. Maybe g4 here is a move. So king f7. And so now I've got to figure out how I'm going to break this. So I can take on f5. That's one move. But I think I'll play rook c2 with the idea of doubling on the g file and maybe threatening to take f5 and then put pressure on g7 if I can get this rook here. So he goes back rook h8, and now it's kind of decision time. I can play g5. I'm not really crazy about it. I could play rook g2 actually, which looks reasonable, because now if he takes, I'll take. So he plays bishop f6. Now let's see. Now here I can take on e4 or not take. I think I'm going to take on e4 and hope he takes with the... he took with the d pawn here. I think here I can go h5, because now when he takes h5, I take f5, and I've got this awesome... he can't take back, so I've got the pin. So I'm threatening to just like break all... This whole pawn structure is about to just like collapse pretty much instantly. So, so rook f8. So what, is he really going to put his king on a... Well, he's going to have to take with the king, but after king g6, just queen e6, I think it's just winning. I mean, I can probably also, after king g6, just take. And if he goes king e7, I think I have g5. Oh, he goes king e8? Okay, but now it's 2 pawns. I'll just take on c6, try to open up the b file. I could play rook f6, but I'm just going to play g5 and make sure there are no rook f6 ideas. And surely this has to be winning. So I'll play rook b2, rook b7. Okay, so he goes rook b8, so I'll take and play rook h1, rook h7, rook g8. Okay, so he's trying to hold on. Actually, I don't have much time, so I got to move quickly. I had rook e7 and rook e5. It's just GG. You can play rook e8 for the stalemate, but I'll just play like this. And I mean, there is no way he'll survive this. So, yeah, so now I resigned. Okay, so I'll play him again. Let's see, so probably d4. I'll play knight f6. I guess I'll play something different this time. So let's see what he wants to do. I'll play, bishop g5. Normally he was playing c4, not an e4. Now this, as I recall, is not normal. Usually white plays e3 and c4. He's going to play bishop d3. Probably knight f3, maybe knight e2. Pretty standard so far. Nothing too crazy is happening. I'm gonna play c5. Try and change the structure a little bit here. Maybe c3, queen b6, or something along those lines. Okay, so let's see. So I just saw there were some comments, so I'm gonna get back to playing the game for a second. Castles, knight c6. Maybe let's see. Okay, so someone just said why not 2 knights tango? I'll keep that in mind. I'll play the 2 knights tango against someone at a later point in the stream. So I will keep that in mind. So I'm going to break the structure here. Basically d5 I want him to take, so that at some point I can play f5 and free this bishop along this long diagonal here. I'll play knight b4, attack the bishop. Now if he goes bishop e4, I'll hit him with f5. On bishop c4, I'll just take. And again, I just want to go f5 and just, open it up. Queen b3 is probably a bad move, because after knight b6, he's probably going to have to retreat the bishop, and then I'll go bishop e6, hitting his queen on b3 if I can get this. But so rook d1, I'll take. Probably he'll play knight c4, and now I have to be a little bit careful. Bishop e6, d5, d5, bishop d5. I think I'm okay here if he plays d5, maybe not. But it looks reasonably okay. So he plays queen b4. Now I'll play bishop d5 to take this knight here on f3. Probably he'll maybe play knight d2. Maybe he'll play knight e3 anyway. It's a little bit weird to do, but it's possible. Just so he can roll this pawn right down. Sure enough, he does it. He'll play queen d7, protect this pawn here on b7. Probably d5, and now I'll play rook e8. Just want to go like bishop f8, bishop d6, something like this. Or maybe even just f5 is also completely fine. So he plays d6. I think I'll play rook e5, try to do something here. Try and create some threats along his king. His king is a little bit open here, so maybe play for rook g5 or queen h3. Queen h3 actually might be a serious threat, because he won't be able to block queen g4, because there will be like a rook g5 pin on his king. So rook d5. Thanks. Someone just said I'm really articulate. That's funny to hear. Anyway, rook d5. I'll play f5. I think I'm gonna try to keep all the pieces on the board here. Maybe rook e6 probably is a bad move. See rook c1. I'll play rook d8. Probably bishop f8 at some point or f5. Just basically trying to put pressure on this d pawn until I decide what I'm actually doing. So we'll see. Knight c4. I'm going to play b6, just stop any knight a5 nonsense, basically just restrict everything here, and now he's not actually threatening anything, so now I need to do something. So maybe f5, bishop f8's a move. I think bishop f8, a5 is kind of an issue here, so I think I'm just going to play rook c8. So b3, bishop f8. This might have been slightly wrong because now he gets to exchange the queens, and this isn't quite what I wanted. But at the same time, he doesn't really have much play either, so it's kind of okay. This isn't really great for. This isn't really what I wanted. I don't think this is what he wanted either, though. So we're both, I think, a little bit unhappy. So b5. I think I'll play f5 now. Maybe f6 at some point. If he plays knight e5, I just take the pawn. Not really sure if I'm going to go f6, king f7, but I think f6 to cover this e5 square makes sense. Now I'll just run the king over at f7, e6 in like 2 moves. And, okay, he played f4, which I think is a mistake, so I think I can go rook e4 now. And I'm going to take, and now I'm just going to bring my king as close and as fast as I can over here. And this pawn at f4 might become a weakness now. I put it on dark square so it can be attacked by the bishop. So it's probably not great. So king e2, I'll play king e6. Now I don't know if I take king d4, g5. I feel like this should be winning. Okay, how can this not be winning? This has to be winning. So so h4. Now I can take, or I can play rook d5. I can also just play h6. I think h6 is probably the right move here. So he takes, I'll take. So probably king d4. So king c4. So I can also h5, h4, e3, h3. So I think this has to be winning. So h5, which is a move. Okay. So I'll take. If he goes f3, I go king e5, I think. Oh, did I just blunder this somehow? Ah, shoot. I just allowed this to become a draw. That was unfortunate. I should not have done that. Oh, well. Anyway. Wait a second. What is king b3? Don't I have zugzwang now? King d3, king b4. If he had kept the triangulation, this was just a draw. But now this is not a draw. And my pawn has to be quicker here, so I don't know what king b3 was, whether that was just a slip or what that was. I think maybe if I tried h5, maybe it was winning, because I could have created an outside pawn. Actually, I see Eric just challenged me. I guess he logged on, so he wants more punishment. So I'll play him at some point. Not quite yet. I gotta warm up first before I play him. Okay, so d4, knight e4, bishop f5, knight g3, probably bishop g6, knight e5, and we're in. I feel like this is theory somehow. h4, but h4, h6, knight e5 turns into some weird line, I think. Yeah, because normally the knight's on G1 here. Did I somehow get an extra tempo? Knight C3. Maybe I'm just crazy. Yeah, or maybe it's just my pawn's not on D4 yet. Sorry, that's actually the difference. Okay, so bishop H7. Now, I can play queen F3, knight F6, queen B3 maybe. That probably works. I mean, queen F3, knight F6, queen B3, queen D5. Takes, queen E5, bishop E2, E6. It's sharp. I'm going to play something a little bit weird. I'm going to play queen h5. So on queen d5, I can meet it with... although now he has queen d5. Queen d5, maybe... queen e3, maybe. I don't know. What am I thinking? I just exchanged and played bishop b5. Just stupid. What am I thinking? Okay, so let's see. So what's he gonna do? Okay, so d4. I'll probably play something similar to last game. Maybe he'll play. Yeah, this game he's not gonna play bishop g5. Let's play a Grunfeld. See what he has against this. Bishop f4, bishop g7, e3, castles, something random. Castle. Probably he'll play rook c1. And how does this line go? It's been like years since I played any of this stuff, but I'll play bishop e6. c5, knight d5. Probably he'll take. Queen d5. If he takes on c7, okay, so b3. Now, why is this not right? Somehow b3 is not the move that I'm used to seeing. I could just play knight d7, maybe play aggressively. I think I will. I'll just chuck a pawn and try to play for some kind of counterplay that may or may not exist. I'm not really quite sure. Okay, so I see a bunch of people want me to play Eric. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. So knight f3. c5, bishop c4 is a problem, so I'll just play rook c8. Probably he'll play bishop c4 anyway, being solid, so I'll throw in a check. Queen d2 takes, probably knight d2, or king d2. Knight d2, I guess I'll take. Bishop f5, e4 wasn't very good, so this makes sense. So I don't know if he'll take knight c4 or rook c4. Rook c4, probably e5. So he plays knight c4, I'll play c5 anyway. Probably he'll take, maybe d5. d5, knight f6, I mean, black should be completely fine here. So, I caused Eric some pain yesterday, apparently. Wow. He needs to play more like Robin, then. So Robin actually put up a pretty good fight. He got a lot of bad positions that were losing, but he was very resourceful in quite a few of the games, so he did a good job. So yeah, okay. So rook d1, knight b6 maybe. I really don't want to give this guy a draw, so I'm gonna play knight f6. Try to play for more initiative. If castles b5 probably. Try to kick this knight, penetrate on c2. If he plays knight a5, rook c2. So I don't know if that's true. I'm seeing some people in the chat saying that Eric threw a chair. If he did, that's hilarious. Poor Eric. Poor Eric. Okay, so I'll play rook c2 here. Probably he'll play knight d7. I'm not sure yet. So a4. I can take. I can do something else. This is pretty dry, though. Maybe a6, knight d7, rook c8. It's pretty hard to create something here, but I'll try. So I'll take. Play rook c8. It's a pretty boring position, but I do control the c file, so there always are some back rank tricks long term. His a4 pawn's a little bit weaker than my a7 pawn. Also, his bishop and his knight aren't ideally placed here. Okay, so rook b1, logical move. Maybe knight e4 here. Yeah, I like knight e4 to threaten this fork. Also, I threaten g5, winning some material. So knight e4 I like. I think it's a good move. Especially this knight d2 threat is very serious, suddenly. Knight d5 was also possible. Knight d5, rook b7 was fine, but I thought... no, this is hard to play, actually. So he's got rook b7 here. I think I'll just play f6 so that I can meet rook b7 with e5. And if he goes knight d4, then I'll go rook a2. Okay, so he played rook b4, so I'll play knight c3. Again, I want to play e5 at some point and shut out his bishop, just close this whole diagonal. So g4, I'll play e5, probably bishop g3. I'll play g5 to stop him from playing g5 and breaking the pawn structure. I'll play knight d5, probably rook b3. Now I'll play rook c3 here. Try to force him to exchange a set of rooks. And now the knight controls this square and this square, so this is looking pretty good somewhere. So I'll play a5, make this a long-term weakness where he can't do anything. So h4, h6, he'll probably take. Maybe knight e1. Okay, so he's going to go king f1. I'll play bishop f8, try to plant this bishop here on b4. Rook d2, probably rook c1 maybe, bishop b4. Essentially the problem here for white is this bishop, which is just kind of like really out of play now. So it's going to be very hard here to defend. So I'll play rook b4, pick up this a4 pawn, also attack this g4 pawn. So I'll just take a4. Taking g4 was also completely fine. So f4, I'll play e4. Try to force the knight to f2 to close this diagonal, because now after this move, the diagonal is shut. So I think I will just take and play knight c3. And now I'm just running this pawn straight down the board. So king there. Okay, I don't have all the time in the world, so I've got to be a little bit careful here. Probably king c2. I'll just push the pawn to a2. Bishop d6. Very clever, very cheeky. So, takes. Oh, king d3. I did not see that one coming. Oi! What was that? Anyway, I'll just flag here. This was not how I was hoping to play this, but anyway. Just have to avoid a fork and throw in a few more checks. And this should, I'll be able to just flag in here. And yeah. Okay, so I'll play him one more game and then I'll move on. I'll play d4 again, probably d5 as usual. Oh right, someone told me to play the two knights tango earlier, so I'll keep that in mind for one of these other games. So I just asked, would that be a draw over the board? With the pawn on e3, I'm pretty sure that it would be. With the pawn on e4, I'm not certain. I think probably still it's a draw, but it would not be just trivial. So b6, I'll castle, probably castle, or he'll take. So I'll take castles, queen c2. Pretty standard, some kind of Queen's Indian. Castles e4, knight bd7. I'll just play e4 anyway. Probably e5, d5. Though I don't have to play d5. I can let him take. I'll play rook e1, prophylactic. Just create a square for this knight on f1. So d5, I have knight f1, knight e3 right away. So a5. I'll just play d5. No need to wait now. Probably knight h5. Wow, what is h5? That's very bold. Basically, because now black's gonna have problems because he can always castle kingside, but with this pawn here on h5, it's a little bit weird. And so he's basically going all in here. So bishop c8, I don't really understand what he's doing, but I'll play h3 just to stop any nonsense over here. And I'm gonna go a3 b4 next move most likely. And also after. Okay, so he's just burning all his bridges. He just wants to attack, which is interesting. Just play knight d2 now, protect this pawn, and now b4 is a very serious threat. Basically, I didn't play this knight d2 earlier because I was worried he would play some h4 move, but now I'm going to go all in and just kill him. So knight b7, Knight e3. Maybe you can play king f8 and run, but it's pretty ugly here. So king f8, I'll play queen c3. Probably knight b3 next move after king g7. Just knight b3 and play for the c5 pawn break. I also have rook f1 maybe, rook f1, f3, or f4. There's many options here, but because he has this weakness, this weak square here, which he just overlooked in one move, he always has issues. So all right, let's see. So let's see. Okay, so I see Eric is playing, so I'll challenge Renato. Maybe Zoran-P as well. Well, maybe Penguin too. See if he wants to play. Okay, Penguin wants to play, so okay. I don't know why I played this open. This wasn't really my intention, but anyway, not much I can do about that. So play something strange. So I don't know here if he's going to play d4, if he's going to play something else. I'll take. Play knight f3. Just develop all my pieces. Probably bishop f5. Ah, he wants to play b6. Okay, then I'll play d4. Maybe he'll take, maybe he won't. Bishop b7, I'll castle. I probably want to take here on c5 at some point. Play a3, stop anything on this b4 square, and now I will take. So that if he takes with the bishop, I had b4, so he took with the pawn. Play rook c1. Try to play these against these two pawns here in the center. Queen e7. Just bishop d3. I'll play for rook e1 and e4 if I get the chance. Rook d8, rook e1. Maybe knight e4 here. Maybe I'll play that. I guess he's thinking about knight e4. Maybe he's thinking about knight e5. Knight e4 probably just queen c2. Or knight f1, knight g3. It all depends what he wants to do here. Now, is he lagging? Is he thinking? Okay, so he played knight e5. Okay, so I'll play... I can take. I can play bishop f5. Many different options. I think I'll just play... I think I'll just take and play queen c2. So let's see. So what's he going to do here? d4, dubious with the queen on e7. If he takes, I'll just take. I'll just pre-move that just in case he does it. Is maybe he's thinking about c4? I'm not really sure what he's thinking so long about here. Now I will play bishop f5, hit the rook, probably rook c7. I think I will take or play. Yeah, I'll take, and I think I'm just going to play b4 now. Try and create this weakness. So his rook is hanging on c7, so he can't take. If he pushes c4 or g6, no, I can't take. So I'll just retreat to d3. If he pushes c4, I'll go knight f3. He is thinking a lot here, I've noticed. So let's just see what he's going to do. I expect him to play c4 eventually. d4 is always there. I think I can just take c5, but even if I can, I don't really see what's wrong with just playing a move like e4 here. Maybe not the best move, but I'm up a minute on the clock, and I don't really see the point to going into a deep tank. So that's rook c8. Now I think I will play knight c4, hit the queen e7, and now I'll play b5, and now this knight on c4 is fantastic. So e5, king g7, so I have e6 or knight d6. I am not sure. I think I'll play knight d6. I'll play the aggressive move, and I'll play f4. If he moves the knight, I'll play f5. And if he plays bishop a8, I mean, I could play f5 anyway, but I think I don't really see his plan, so I'm just going to play queen f2. Try to shift the queen to g3 and put pressure on his king. So now he played knight b6, and now I think he's in real trouble after f5. Queen g5, I think I'll play h4. Probably queen g4. Okay, so now I'm up a lot of time on the clock, so I'll play bishop e4. Try to exchange this bishop for that knight. Queen knight d5. Okay, what's the best move here? So I think I'll play bishop. Yeah, bishop f3, queen f4, g3 traps this queen, and that should be all that she wrote. So okay, so I'll play him again. So d4, knight f6. c4. I'll play something off b. I forgot. I keep forgetting that someone told me to play the two knights. I keep forgetting that. Okay, next game against him. Next game against this guy, I'll play the two knights tango. I forgot that. I forgot that I had said that before. So okay, so I have to be a little bit careful here. I've kind of misplayed this opening. Rather badly, I might add. So he'll take. Let's have some fun. I'll try b5 here. I already butchered the opening badly enough that I'm just going to try and have fun playing interesting stuff. So, so let's see. What's he going to do? b3. Interesting. Very interesting. It takes. No sacks really works. So I'll just keep playing simple chess. I'll just castle. Probably knight g2. d7, castles. I'll play knight b6. Try to put pressure on the c4 pawn, maybe. And if he plays a3, maybe I'll retreat bishop a5. Maybe. Not actually sure. I think I'll play bishop a6 here. I think he's forgetting that on a3. I don't actually. It's not automatic that I have to take. I can also just retreat my bishop here. So so let's see what he's going to do. So knight e4. Okay, so now I can takes. Now, if I take bishop h7, king h8, I don't see it. I'm just going to go for it. So because now I have knight e3 tricks. I mean, he can play rook f3, I suppose. I actually didn't see that. That could be a slight issue, but let's see. Okay, so he did find it. I'm going to try to make this murky. I'm going to play queen h4 and sack my queen here. I don't know if this works. Probably it doesn't, but I'm going to try to make this a little bit weird. So I think we'll see. Probably he has to play rook h3. If he plays bishop f5, I can probably just take the bishop on b2. Okay, so he plays bishop d3. So is he So if I take on b2, oh, he can just take on a6. Oh, I didn't see that right off. That was rather bad. Okay, I'll play him two more. Problem is he's so low rated that I'm only getting 2 points for a win, which is a little bit ridiculous. So I'll play two more, and then I'll play someone with a higher rating. Okay, bishop b5. a6. Okay, so he's going to play with one of these systems. Here in the Spanish. Bishop e7, rook e1, probably b5. Forget if he plays the Marshall or not. Evidently he does not. So c3, d6, d4. Bishop g4. I'll play bishop e3. So what he's going to do, cd4, or ed4, cd4, d5, this ancient line. I feel like this hasn't been played much in recent years, but it's still a prominent line. So f5, f5. Why don't I remember this line? Okay. Okay, so I can play h3. Maybe I just play queen d3 here. Can't seem to remember this line very well. I think just queen d3. And if he takes, I'll take, and I'll get my king over to h1. So I'll make that a pre-move. And if he doesn't take, maybe I'll move the knight. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Actually, queen d7. Okay, now I think I have to play e6 and just takes bishop g5. Try and play against his All his pieces are kind of misplaced here. This bishop on g4 is weird. This bishop and this knight. Everything's a little bit loose here, and d5 is a big weakness. And if he moves his queen, I'll probably play knight e5, probably. If he doesn't take. If he takes, I'm going bishop g5, queen d6, knight e5. If he goes queen d8, probably just bishop f4. Okay, so he took, so bishop g5. Queen d6. So now I can take, I suppose. I could play takes, and maybe rook e7. That looks good enough. If takes, I'll take. I'll play knight e5. Now I've got a good knight against a very bad bishop here. So I'm just going to go like rook e1. Maybe I allowed queen a3, but that shouldn't really matter. So queen d6, I'll play queen g3, threaten knight f7. And some back rank tricks. Threaten to also just take this bishop. So let's see what he's going to do here. So bishop h5, that is a move. Knight d3, maybe he has f4. So I need to keep the pressure on him here. So I'm just going to play... How do I keep the pressure on? So queen h4, bishop e8. I think I'll play queen g5, force him to move the bishop. And now I'll play knight d3 and try to put the knight on this other square here on c5 and play against his weak pawns. Because basically I need to bring my queen into the game. Now I played bishop f7. It's a good move. Now I have rook e7, h6. I'm not up much time here on the clock, so I have to make some quick decisions here. I think I'll play knight c5 because if he takes, I'll play rook a1 or rook e7. Probably rook a1 that makes the most sense. So I assume he will take. No, he's not going to take. Okay, so I'll play queen e7. Probably bishop takes a2, knight takes a6, because now if you take the knight, I take his rook. So, and I'm also threatening c7 here too. So rook f6. Now I can take the pawn, and why not? It makes sense. If he takes, I take. So queen c6, I'll check, and I will take the pawn. And I should just be up 2 pawns here, right? So takes, rook b6, I have rook e5. This has gotten a little bit messy, but I'm way up on the clock here, which is very important, so I'll just take. Knight a3, if bishop d3, bishop b5, I'll just play c4. Takes, rook c1. And now I just need to bring f3. So it's just a matter of putting everything on the right squares. So now I put the knight on e3, and now after I get in d5, it's just completely over. So I just pick up this pawn here on f5. So, all right. So there you go. There's the 2 knights. Okay, let's see what he's going to do against it. Knight f3. I'll just play standard 2 knights tango here. I could have played d6 also move. There are many options. Just play. This is going to end up turning into some kind of nimzo anyway, so I'll castle, probably a3. I'll play queen e7 and e5, I guess. b2, play a5. This is actually going to turn into something very similar to what I played that other game against mckel, where I was white. So let's see. Okay, so he's thinking again. Probably b4. Okay, I will take. I'll exchange here. Now there are a couple of ways of playing this. I'm going to try and break the center right away. Basically, plays b5. He creates a weakness here on c5. And I'll play b6 and bishop b7. Fianchetto my bishop. Eventually. Probably I'll play knight e4 here. Maybe f4, but f4, knight c5. So I'll just play bishop b7, simple chess. I'll play knight c5. Probably bishop f1, bishop e2, rook c8. Basically, I want to play for d5 as well here. h3. Okay, so I can play d5 or not. Doesn't feel quite right, so I'll just create a square for my king later on. Knight b3. Now I will take and play knight d7, queen d3. So I'll play knight e4 because on knight d7, queen d3 hit this pawn. So with the knight here, it protects the pawn. I can play knight c5, probably turn it into a draw. Play rook a8. This is pretty drawish, I have to say. So maybe I'll play queen g5. Try and make it interesting at least. So if he plays bishop f3, I play knight c5. If he plays bishop, I mean, I could have played queen f6, bishop f3, knight c5 too, but maybe queen f6 was slightly more precise than queen g5. But the show goes on. So you guys keep the questions coming. I am looking periodically at the chat. So let's see. Okay, so bishop f1, logical move. I could play d5 here, takes rook c3, but I don't see the continuation. I could play queen h4. I'll try and keep playing active moves here. Try and confuse the matters. So queen b2. Knight g5, he just takes. Rook d8, f3 probably. Unfortunately, this is probably going to turn into nothingness. So I will play queen f6. I'll just play queen f6, f3, knight c5, and make a draw. Something like that. So bishop d3. So he doesn't want to draw now. Okay, so I'll play knight c5. Bishop f1. Queen g6. Try and put pressure on this pawn here on g2. Knight e4. Queen c2, and now he gave me d5, so now it's not clear at all. So f3, I can also move my knight. I can also just attack this pawn here. Maybe queen g5. Yeah, I think I'll play queen g5 because if he takes, I take and I take. Okay. So he takes here on d5. He takes with e pawn, queen d6, and now I've got it past e pawn. So this isn't really clear. But this is going to get double-edged in a hurry. That much is clear. So I'm going to go bishop c8. Now he gave me e4. Now he's going to probably end up in a lot of trouble. Probably he'll take. No, he doesn't want to take. Okay, so I'll play king h7. He's going to have to take at some point, I think. I'll keep putting my pieces on better squares. Now I'll take the open a file if I can. Probably he'll take on f5 now. I don't know for sure. Okay, so now he's trying to do something here with rook e2. I'll play rook f8. Queen d4. And I'm going to take. So if he takes, I'll play bishop g4. If he takes on e4, I'll take on h3. If he plays h4, probably queen f4. So that I can play queen f3 check. Or queen f1 check. Whoops, did I just miss that? I did. Oh well. Okay, so takes. Bishop e4, I'll play h5. d6. King h6. d5. What's he threatening here? Ooh, that was a... no, h4, important move. Stop king g3. And now this is check, and now he's just busted. And that's game. Okay. So two knights tango wins by force. So I'll play knight f3. Play g3, bishop g2. Play a Catalan against him this time. See what he wants to do. Probably a6. Which one? I'll play the old main line. I'll take and play bishop d2 like Kasparov used to do back in the old days. Rook a7. Play rook d1. Bishop e4. Queen c1. c6. play knight c3. Oh, did I just blunder here? Forgetting about c5. Not ideal. Okay, I'll take with the pawn. Bishop e3. Yeah, this isn't really how I was supposed to play this. Anyway. Play queen d2. If d3, knight f4, I'm just going to put a knight on d3 one way or another. Put a knight on d3 and basically make him prove that the extra pawn is worth a lot, or that he has good technique. Because this still is not trivial for black. Black's up a pawn, but it's opposite color bishops. I'm going to play f4 next move, open my light square diagonal. So he wants to exchange. I'll let him exchange. Play f4. I could have taken on c7 too, but I think this when I'm down a pawn, it's a little bit hard to be overly optimistic and play for a win at all costs. So if he wants to make a draw, he can make a draw. But I'll make him prove it. So bishop f6, interesting move. Now this is interesting. Now I think I'm going to take and exchange the rooks. Now I can't really. He wants to play it like this. This is very interesting. Knight c5. Queen d6. Play knight b7. Make him exchange everything. This is a very interesting position because here we both have double pawns. This passed d pawn can become good. Might also be bad as well. So play this. If queen c4, I'll just play queen b1, and now the queen isn't actually doing anything. So now I can just kick him with b3, bring my queen to e2, and say, what are you doing over here? Because there is no actual threat here. So I'm going to get aggressive here. I'm going to get really aggressive and try to do something. So let's see what he wants to do. So I'll check him. King f8. Interesting. Interesting. So now I can play queen h8, king e7, knight e5. Ooh, this looks quite dangerous. Because now I'm threatening queen f6 check. This square on f6 could just be like game over. In fact, I think it very well might be game over. So queen c7, that holds at least temporarily. So I'll throw in a couple checks, try to gain a little bit of time. Maybe f5, maybe just h4, maybe just play simple waiting moves. Maybe queen g8 was the move that I was missing though. Queen g8, king e6, and queen e8. Yeah, that might have been the way to proceed. Although if queen d6 here, I have knight d3 too. So okay, so he plays king e6. So in fact, he actually walks right into what I was hoping for. So now I'll check. King f5. So okay, so what's his threat? He doesn't have a threat. I can play knight f3 here to threaten something. Maybe not threaten anything. Play knight f7. This looks reasonable. Now I'll throw in a check. King e4, wow. Okay, so I'll play knight g8. I can take d2. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, so I can. Now I need to think for a second. So knight g6, king d3, knight e5, king c2, queen a4, king b2. I think I will play knight f3 to attack this pawn here on c2. D2, very important. And now I can just take, and I can take, and now he's too slow. He just loses by a couple tempi. d4. Yeah, why not? Let's play the tango again, since it worked last game. Keep the streak alive. play... Okay, I'll play e5 here. So d5, knight e7. This is going to turn something. h4, that's always a move. I'll play h5, why not? And I'll play bishop b4. Okay, so bishop b5, so I'll take, play d6. I'm just going to move my queen next move, get out of this nasty pin, or play knight f8, knight h7. I like queen d7 because now I can move the knight to g4 next move. And so let's see, I'll be back in 1 second. I'm going to turn on the light. So bishop h3, I'll play knight g4. So queen c2, I can play queen f5, I think. Looks completely fine. So takes. If he moves knight h2, moves knight d2 even, I'll just retreat my bishop. Or maybe even just f6 here. But why bother? Just simple moves like bishop d7 make a lot of sense too. So knight g4, I'll take. Bishop g2, f6. He's going to move his bishop, probably e3 maybe. Maybe d2. But at any rate, black's completely fine. And these double pawns are quite bad. So I'm going to fix it so he never is c5. King d2. I'll finish my development. Let's see. So now I want to attack this pawn. So maybe I should... Is there some way to attack this pawn? If I could get my knight to b7, that would be ideal. So I'm going to actually play some really deep ideas here. I'm just going to try to do something over... Put my rooks here. Play bishop f5. So if he wants to exchange, he can. Probably he'll go back. Now, I do have e4. Yeah, why not? Play e4 and create this square for the knight. Now, bishop e2, I go g5. I mean, it's just this, everything's terrible here. His bishops are just really bad. Now I'm crashing through on the h file as well, so... So, let's see. So let's see. So he plays c5. So it's finally desperation time. So I can take with the b pawn, but I think I'll take this way just to keep the b file closed. So take, takes. With bishop b2. Now I can play rook h2. I can play knight f3 also. Knight f3 might make the task more difficult, but I think that this has to be winning technically. So it's just a question of how to convert. So I'm going to play bishop c8. Oh, I had rook g2 maybe. Rook g2 is maybe simpler. Yeah, this was actually simplest. I should have done this right away. Just so on rook h1 I go g3. So rook f1 now I play bishop a6 and come after this pawn. So e5 I'll just take. h1 I'll just play... If I play g3, e6, king g6... Looks winning. Yeah, e6, king g6, and if e7 I just take f2 with check. So I'll take. And now, there are many ways to win. Bishop b5. I think I'll just check and play bishop b5 next move. So I'll give him one more game probably, and then I think I'm gonna move on. So I'll stick to what I've been beating him with so far. I'll keep playing the same thing. Probably play another Catalan, give him another shot to redeem himself. So that last game was not good. So I'll play queen c2, something different line at least of the Catalan. Let's see what he wants to do. c6 is what Magnus played against me. It's not considered to be the best move. So bishop a6, that especially is weird. I'll play rook e1. If he plays rook c8, probably I play queen a4 or just b3. I think b3 is correct. So on c5, I'll just take d5, and I'll play bishop b2. So cd4, knight d4. If he takes, then I takes dc4, then I have knight c6. I'm also threatening knight f5 maybe. Okay, so he plays b5. It's a reasonable move. Now I feel like I've actually had something very similar to this. Maybe this in fact is like one of the games that I've actually played before as black. This looks a lot like a game I had against Krasenkow, but it could be slightly different as well. So I'll play knight f5, see what he wants to do. Bishop c5 and play like rook d1. Oh, bishop b4. That's a strange move. Okay, so I'll play a3. Now if he takes, I'll take back, because then I have this trick with knight e7 also. Probably bishop c5 was the right move, because now I also have queen g5 coming too. So not only do I have queen g5 here, which might just be winning. Queen g5, g6, knight e8. Knight e8 is a move, I guess. Knight e8. Knight h6, king h8. Okay, all right. Queen g5, knight e8. Takes. Queen g5, knight e8. Knight e7, king h8. And somehow I don't have a mate. So I think I'm just going to play simple chess. I'm just going to check him. Just take the exchange and play like queen a5, or maybe even I'll just take on c4. Probably simpler just to take on c4. Although in this game I am down on time, so it is fairly important that I move fast now. So rook e7. Put pressure on these knights since they're kind of misplaced. Or not misplaced, but they aren't really helping each other here. So try to put pressure on the knights and then use these two bishops, but especially this bishop on this diagonal. So queen c5. So here I could take. I assume that's what he's counting on, so I'm not going to take and give him some c3 stuff, even though that was completely winning. I'm just going to play rook e1 and play simple chess here. So king g8. So he's really begging me to take, and if I take, he has c3. Is that what he's banking on? I'm confused. No, he's not. Okay, so I'll just take and play c3, bishop c1, and I'm just up a piece here, and this is completely winning now. Try to simplify since I'm down on time. So yeah, after this one, I will move on. I'll play someone else. Let's just see. Is Eric sitting there and waiting? Is he lurking? Looks like he is. Okay, so rook d8. Put the bishop here so that I can play bishop c2. Also stops rook d1. I'll play bishop c2. Just stop any stuff here. And probably next move, yeah, now I'll just play rook d1. Force him to move his rook off the e-file. Now I'll play rook d5. Oh, I'll play rook c5. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Rook takes a5 is winning as well, but rook c5 just wins on the spot too, since he's forced to exchange the rooks. Since next move is bishop d4, bishop takes c3. So okay, I think it's time. Let's see. What does Eric want to do? He wants to play. Okay, so the real match has begun. Okay, knight f3. Eric is going to play differently today. Okay, so blitz out the first like 10 moves. Castles, bishop b7. I don't know what rook c1 is. b4 is a little bit weird. So here I can play c4. I don't know if it's a good move, but I'll try it. I'll try to make this game really interesting. If he takes, I think queen a5 or knight d5 are both possible. I think I'll just play queen a5. On knight b4, I'll just take the pawn on a3. On knight c5, knight d5. So yes, I'll take. Probably he'll take. Rook c1, I'll just take on c3. So takes. Knight e5, probably knight d5, or no, I don't have to, probably. So let's see. So here, I think I'll just play bishop d5. Bishop f3, probably just e6 or something. Just have to be careful not to get my queen trapped over here. Okay, so he plays f3. Now let's see. Now I can play b4, I guess, or not. think I'll play simple moves. Bishop b7, rook d8. Try to put pressure. Maybe b4 at some point. Knight h5 also. A lot of options. So now he's trying to threaten rook a1. So I can play queen b3. Maybe make it force a draw. It's not really what I want to do. But if I play queen b3, okay, so now I need to think. Okay, so if I play queen b3, queen d2, and rook a8, he plays rook b1. So let's see. Okay, so I'll play knight h5, play bishop h6. And he plays rook b1. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I will play bishop. It's a good move. I'll play bishop c6. I'll give him a pawn here. Probably he'll take, maybe not. Maybe he'll. I mean, rook a1 could be a problem, but let's just see. So, what's his next move? Probably he'll take, I would assume, but I'm not sure. Okay, so he plays f4. So he wants to play for g4 now. So now it's time to do something, and in a hurry. So if I play knight f6, probably he just takes on c6. If I move my bishop g4, g4 could be a problem. Let's see. Okay, so queen a8 takes. Okay, I've kind of just got to move now. So okay, so d5, bishop e8. I don't know what he's doing, because suddenly he let me back into the game. He's just much better, and now it's not trivial at all, actually. So I'm down on time here, so I'm gonna have to move fast. So I'm gonna play e6, try to break the pawn structure, change things up a little bit. So now maybe knight d7 is an idea too. Okay, so bishop d4. I'll play knight d7. And if you take, or what's that? Now I take? Okay, I can take e5. I don't want to be practical. I'm just going to take on e5 and play c3. And try to really put pressure on him on the file. I missed this queen, oh, that just hangs me. That was bad. That just hangs the piece there. So, okay. So he starts off with a lucky win. Time to beat him now. Probably I should have just taken the exchange and he would have been in some real trouble. Let's see. Okay. Bishop b4. Now knight d2. Just bishop g2 and castles. Probably I should have moved faster that game. I was a little bit too slow. So I'm going to play h3, g4. If he plays b5, just knight g3 probably. Just g5, f5. I'll play h4 just to create a square for my bishop possibly later on if it's necessary. d5, I'll just take. ed5, and now I'll just play f6, just force the action. And knight c5, bishop f4. I'll play bishop f4 anyway here. To d4, reasonable. Play knight e4. If he takes, I'll take. So rook c8. I'll just play knight g3, protect the knight here on e4. Probably he'll move the bishop, but queen b6 also move. Now, maybe I should try h5. I don't actually know if it makes sense, but I think I'll play b3. Just stop knight c4. Stop any knight c4, knight e3 stuff. So bishop f8. I'll play h5. Try to open it up now a little bit. Knight c5, I will take. Knight g6, I think I just have queen d4. So h6, I might just have queen d4 here. Why not? I don't see why it doesn't work, and I'll just play queen g1. Queen f2 allowed knight g4, so just queen g1, move the queen back. So he wants to go for some mate stuff over here, so I'll play rook e1 maybe. Yeah, it looks reasonable enough. So queen g4, I'll play queen h2. So now also the other thing is maybe if I get like 2 moves, I'm threatening to like play like rook e3, rook h3, and just mate him in a couple of moves. So this might be an idea. Okay, so rook d4. I'll play rook e3 because now I want to create some kind of mate threats here. So I can play knight e2 here. I can also just take maybe. Or take on c5. There are a lot of takes here. Okay, so I played queen c8. So takes, rook e5, d5, knight f5, or just knight f5 right away maybe. No, knight f5 right away, knight g4. Knight c5, knight g4, rook e8. Okay, so I'll take. Actually, knight g4, I can also maybe just play bishop takes b7 as well. So he takes. So isn't he just down a piece here, or am I crazy? Bishop e5? Bishop e5, bishop g2. Okay, so I see what he's trying to do. Okay, so I will take and play queen g2. Assuming he takes, yeah. And takes, and I should be fine. If he moves the queen, just knight e2 probably. I'm sure there was some other way to play this more precisely than what I did, but not a whole lot of time on the clock. Queen d7, yeah, now I will... Oh, wait, knight e2 is... Actually, I gotta be careful here. So, actually, no, knight e4 is the move. Knight e4, that's the move. Because then I take the bishop with tempo. Bishop f8. I'll play... What will I play here? Maybe just c3. d3, and now I'll just take and play bishop h2, and basically now everything's safe and secure over here on the king side. Oh, that was not a very good move actually. Let's try and be a little bit more careful. F3. I'll give him a check on the back rank so I can just move my king. So knight c5. Got to be a little bit careful here. Okay, maybe. What am I doing? Being too slow again in this game as well. I don't know why I'm moving so slowly this game. What's going on? We're... Terrible. Just too slow, too laggy. Yeah, okay. Alright, I'm going to beat him 5 in a row now, so I'm just going to stop talking so much during the games, because clearly I'm using too much time and getting too low. So I'm going to have to be a little bit less chatty for the next couple of games. Though for sure I was winning that last one at some point, just too complicated and not getting too low on time really. So let's see, okay. Queen d2, knight h5. Try to do something over here on the king side before he can expand. Take queen f6. c3, probably just c5. a4, I don't know what a4 is. Just play a6. Takes. So let's see. So takes, c3. Just play c5. b4. Just takes. Queen c3, probably just rook a2. Or just cb4 and rook a2. Probably rook a2, knight c3, knight f4. I don't know if this works, but it seems like it's worth a shot. Wait, what? Oh, did I just hang that? And if c7, queen c8, rook a1. Okay, so if I take c6, knight f4, c7, queen g5, g3, e3. Okay, let's see. So take c6, b4, queen c4, knight c4, c7, queen g5, and if g3. Maybe b4, b3 here. I think I'll try b4 and maybe b3. Queen c4, b3. Let's see what he's going to do. So c6. c2. Oh, he's knight c3. Oh, yikes. Yikes, that was not good. Okay. Very careless. Okay. Probably this is lost, but maybe there's some hope of something. Oh, I could have just taken... Oh, am I stupid? Oh, wait, no, I had a 4c7? Or no, it's the wrong position. It doesn't work. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. So, okay, now I'm just not going to talk, period. That's just clearly not focusing enough. So, let's see, okay. Come on, Eric, move. Okay. Play the same knight e7. 4 castles. Need to be fast. Just be fast. A4. Maybe I'll take on d5. Maybe not. Takes cd5, knight b5, and probably c4. Just play c4. 7, queen e2. If he plays rook d8, just rook d1. Okay, I'll play rook d1. Bishop here on b8 is pretty bad. Probably just rook e1 next. He doesn't have a threat with bishop f5, so just rook e1, protect everything. Now here I can play knight e4. I don't know if I want to. It's a move. He's playing h5, so he's getting desperate here trying to open this up. Yeah, I think I will. Assuming it doesn't hang something. Let's see, which it doesn't appear to hang anything. Okay, so d4, okay, all normal. I'll play h4, so I have bishop h3. Knight g4, just king g1. So rook d8, I'll play bishop h3. Force the queen off the square, and then maybe f3, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'll just play f3, be safe, prophylactic. Bishop d6, maybe bishop c1, bishop g5. With knight d7, I can take. I think bishop a3 makes more sense. On knight c5, I'll just take. Play queen c2 maybe. Okay, he wants to play knight f8. Does knight f8 actually threaten? I don't know. Let's play c5 and just queen c4, knight c5, queen c4 probably. Or knight c5, maybe I'll just take even. Okay, so he takes bc5. It's a very weird move. Knight e6, rook c1, g6. I'll just play bishop b2. b4 was also a move. I'll play knight a3, knight c4 now. Now I'm just going to start blitzing him on the clock on the board. Bishop c1, probably try to do something over here on the king side. Okay, now I'll bring the knight back to b5. Maybe rook c1 also. I'll just play knight b5, rook c1, knight d6. Time to resign, Eric. Knight e6. Just take. Takes. Queen c4. Try to put some pressure on this king side over here. Well, I realized I had queen b5 right away. Let's come back. Okay, so rook b8. Now I'll play rook e1. I'm just going to play for f4. Now I'll just play f4 and just blast it open. If he takes, I'll take. Bishop c7. I can take. I don't have to. I think I'll just play e5, knight d5, bishop g2 probably, or just rook c5. Just be fast and blow him off the board. So takes, and bishop d7 at the end. Okay, so bishop d8. I'll play rook b5. Takes and takes. Just e6 coming as well. And that's one. A3, I'll just play A5 here, stop any okay, he's gonna play this one, so knight C2, I'll play D5. If he takes, knight E3, knight E7. Bishop D2, strange, we'll play knight E7. Knight E4, B6. If B4, I think I just take and play A4. Unless I'm forgetting how this line goes. Which I could be. So bishop B3. Or A3 was maybe better, maybe. I don't know. Maybe A3 was better, but at any rate, this position still is completely fine for black. So H4, I'll just play queen D7. If H5, probably I'll just take. Or just queen B5, of course. So bishop D2. I think I'll just play rook C8. Try to control both these open files here, the A file and the C file, just to prevent anything. I could play queen E6 here. I don't really like it. He wants to go bishop H3. I get it. I'll play, I don't really know if this is the best move, but I'll try it anyway just to force an exchange. Takes bishop H3, knight F5. Again, I control both the C file. I mean, I control both this, the C file, and the A file, so that's very important in this position that I control both the files. In B1, I'll play H6 to stop knight G5, and now with bishop H3, just F5. In fact, F5 is just a strong move, period. It should be 4. Don't Don't have to play knight d5. I want to. Knight d5, knight d6, rook d8. I don't see it, so makes sense. Knight d6, rook d8 looks pretty good. Okay, so queen b3. I'll just take and play rook c2. Just try and put maximum pressure on his king side here. In fact, it's very close to losing here, because I'm threatening just like f5 and bishop f8 maybe or something. So I'll play... What will I play here? I'll just play f5, knight d2, g5 maybe. Yeah, it looks good. Looks as good as anything else. Knight d6, doesn't this just allow bishop f8? Queen d4, queen d6, bishop d5, king h7. Yeah, I don't see it. So, okay, queen b1. Ah, I use queen b1. Okay, so the game continues. Okay, so rook c5, knight c4, g5. Now I'm going to play g4 probably. In fact, now because the rook's on a7, I can also swing it all the way over here too. King g1, I have rook h7, maybe f4, maybe g4. I like rook h7. Seems like a good move to try and create threats here on the king side. Maybe g4, f4, just try and really just smash him over here. So queen a2 does not threaten anything, so I'll just grab this pawn. Queen a8 does not threaten anything, so I'll just play rook c5 and b5 next, or rook c8 just to cut him off. b5 looks good enough though. I'll force him back with g4. Play rook c8 maybe, or maybe now I'll switch. I think I'll play rook d7 here. Just switch back the other way. And rook e5. Knight a5, I'll just take. And if he takes, I play rook e1 check. And if he does something else, knight c6, I'll just throw in a check anyway. And now just not to hang something stupid. So rook d6 takes, and okay. So let's see, okay. So all pretty random still. 6, I'll play queen e2, probably rook d1 next move, or queen f1 too. All depends. Knight a4 now. So queen e7. Now I can take on d5 here maybe. Takes knight e5. What am I missing? So takes. I mean, not missing anything necessarily, but I'll just play c4. Just keep it simple. e4 just takes. And d4, I have knight b6 maybe. Or do I just want to play rook c1 or knight d2? Probably knight d2 makes... Knight d2, bishop a7 could be a... Okay, maybe just c5, of course. To stop this b5 nonsense. And also now I have knight b6 too. Yeah, c5 actually was pretty obvious. I shouldn't have wasted so much time on that move. Let's see. So, maybe knight d5? Knight d5, knight d2 maybe. I think it makes sense just to play for knight e4, knight c4. I think the sack on f4 doesn't quite work, although I'm sure he's probably considering it right now. But it doesn't look to me like it quite works, if I had to guess. But I'll make the pre-move just in case he does it. Oh, he did it, sure enough. Okay, so queen f3. Bishop d5, I'll take. e4, probably I just take. This is going to get messy, but I don't think this quite works for him. Probably he has to play e4. If e4, I will take. If he takes, wait, what am I missing? So takes f3, king g1. I'm not up a piece. I'm just up a piece. I've just got 2 pieces here, right? Takes, just 2 pieces for the rook. Maybe knight b6 was better than bishop takes f3, but okay, but this looks pretty good. I've just got 2 pieces for the exchange here. Now I think knight b6 is in order. Yeah, knight b6 force him to take, and then this d4 pawn becomes very weak as well. Okay, so bishop e6. I'll play rook e1. Yeah, Eric kind of went wrong here. I think it was very interesting if he had played this a different way. But now, I mean, just played bishop g2, I guess, just protect everything. No tricks. Rook e4 was also probably, rook e4 was maybe just better, but okay. I guess he's gonna move the bishop. I should probably make this pre-move. So he plays g5. Okay. Now I can maybe just play c6 maybe. Takes bishop a3, just really ugly. And now I think just bishop a3, takes, and yeah, just game over. So bishop d6, I take, he takes, I take, takes. Now c7 wins. c7 just wins, right? Knight c8 also just wins. So they both win. I don't want to risk maybe overlooking something simple. So So let's see. Okay, I'll stick to the same thing. And we'll play another Botvinnik. b1, d6, d3, bishop e6, knight e1. So yeah, we're just going to play the same system again. So knight e2, knight c2, knight e7. Okay, so we're going to literally play the same system again. Okay, let's see what his improvement is then. So bishop b3. Wow, he actually wants to play the same line again. Interesting. I didn't believe in this for white, so I'm a little bit surprised that he's going to play the same line. This is surprising. So knight d6. Okay, reasonable move. Just queen e6 maybe. Or bishop e5. Bishop e5, knight c4. I'm assuming that's his plan, but I don't understand. It's a little bit hard to believe in this idea that Eric's playing. I mean, rook c7 was maybe also just possible, but anyway, we'll see. Bishop c6, so I can take if I want to. I don't think I want to take. I think I just want to play queen g4, knight c4 probably. Queen g4, knight c4, queen e2 doesn't quite work. Queen h3, knight c4, takes, doesn't seem very optimal. So I'll just play queen d8, I guess. Now knight c4, just move my bishop back to f6 probably. It's not ideal, but not terrible either. Bishop f3. I can play queen d7 here. Maybe just rook e8, force knight d6, or I'll just play king g7, something simple. Simple and safe, because I still control this a file, so there are no threats down the a file, down the a line. h4. Now I'll play queen d7. I'll give him this. If he takes, I'll give him this b6 pawn. But okay, so bishop d2. Now I'll play queen e6. h5. I'm probably going to take, but I'm not sure. I don't have to. So maybe just knight f5. Just simple moves. Keep the tension going in the position, because there's no need to do no need to do anything insane here. So let's see. So queen d1. I don't know. Queen d1. I have knight d6 maybe. No, I don't want to do that. I'll just play maybe rook c8. He wants to go bishop c6 again, is what I think. So I'll just play rook d8. Simple. Maybe knight d6 is an idea next move, maybe not. I'm not sure. Okay, so queen f1. So yeah, now I'll play knight d6, and I'll force him to decide how he wants to play this. So h6, king g8. I actually forgot about h6, I have to say, which was... so now if I take rook c6, rook d6, rook c8, rook d8, I'm still kind of holding. I can also play bishop d8 maybe. Risky to play bishop d8 in this position. Probably I'll just repeat. I don't really want to repeat, but it's probably too dangerous to not repeat. So, I mean, bishop d8, bishop d4. Yeah, I don't see it. So I'm just gonna repeat. Yeah, queen f5, knight d5. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Fine, I'll just force the draw. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, right. So I'll stop Eric from playing e5. I'll play what I did yesterday that worked so well. I'll play this knight f3. Bishop g6 takes. Just gonna go d3, knight d2, maybe e4, maybe e3. Not sure yet. Okay, a5, a3. Probably bishop d6. Probably. Now I'll play e4. Queen e2, threaten e5, the fork, e5 castles, rook e8, rook e1. Now I'll see, maybe knight f8, maybe this. I don't know how I want to play this, but I'll try rook c1. So d4. Now I can play a4 if I want to. h4 seems like the more practical move to play. And while I'm at it, I would like to thank the people who have donated. I keep hearing this clicking sound this ringing sound every so often. So thanks to all of you out there who have made donations. So here I can take. I think I'll just take on c5 and play c3. Just blast this, maybe take with the rook, actually, makes more sense. Okay, so queen b7, knight f3. b4 I'll just take and play rook c4, so knight b3. That's a good move. For some reason I overlooked that. I should not have overlooked that one. Okay, I'll play queen c2. b4, probably I take on b4, or maybe rook c6. A little bit strange. So rook d8. Okay, so rook d8. Now maybe rook d1. I don't know if I'm actually going to play d4 or just like rook c6, but rook d1 seemed like a practical move to try and create something. Now I'll play rook c6 since the queen's on a7. Oh, did I just saw knight a5? Then I can maybe take on d6 and knight e5. Gets messy again. So rook e7. And now surely... Okay, if d4 doesn't work, then I don't know what will work. Takes. Bishop g3, shoot. I kind of saw this, but I vaguely forgot about it. That was stupid. Let's see. Okay, so if I take knight d4, if I play rook c8, queen c8, probably I have to try this, even though it's not really what I wanted to do. So takes. And probably just come back with queen c2 and just pretend that nothing happened, something like that. Bishop a4, I can just take on b5. And now I have knight d6 coming. It's not so bad. It's not as bad as it looks, actually. So knight d6. Probably rook d8. Rook somewhere. When he moves the rook, I play e5. So it doesn't look like he has any other moves that are playable. Probably he has to move his rook. So now I play e5, knight h7. I can play e6 if I want to. Doesn't seem right somehow. I feel like there's got to be something better here, like e6, knight g5. But I don't actually see it, so I'm going to have to try it. And I don't have all the time in the world, so takes. King h7, maybe king g2. I don't know if king g2 is right or not. Probably wasn't right, but I've got to move. So let's see, it's knight e4. Now I'll play bishop e6 so that I can hit him with bishop d5. Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, so let's see. Is he going to play another Botvinnik? He actually is. This is surprising. Eric seems determined to prove that this line is fine for white. I don't actually think it is, but we'll see. Okay. Okay, so I'll play rook a7 again, just like before. Now, what did I do last game? I don't actually remember. So he wants to play knight d6. Okay. So let's see. So if I play rook c7, let's see. Okay, I'll just play queen d7 now. Bishop d6, and I can play rook a7, I think. And if he takes, I take queen b4, rook e8, and we're something pretty similar to what we just had. So h4, just play rook c8. Oops, knight f5. Oops. That was bad. That was knight f5. Jeez, just knight takes f7. But maybe not so bad. Queen f7, bishop d5, knight d6. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. Though I did miss this. When I played rook c8, I forgot that that he had this idea. But anyway, the game goes on. And actually, it's probably not so bad. Takes. Okay, so he doesn't want to do that. So bishop b4. Maybe bishop f8, knight f7 is bad. So I'll just play knight h6. Also now I'm threatening maybe rook c1, knight g4, amongst other little odds and ends. Okay, so bishop c6. Now I'll try to exchange the dark square bishops. Bishop d2. Maybe just queen e7. Attack this pawn on e2, knight e4. Okay, so he wants to go bishop g5. Maybe queen e6, bishop d5 is bad. So maybe just knight g4. I've got to be careful with the time situation here. So bishop g5, queen e6, bishop d5, queen f5 seems fine. Wait, what? Bishop d7. Oh, geez, the bishop covers that square. Ay. Just bishop covers c1. Probably queen e5, bishop d7. But he has bishop d7 anyway, so it doesn't quite work. So let's see, okay. d6, rook d1, probably knight f6 at some point, someday. d5, knight c3. Queen c7, I'll just take. e5. This is just pretty good. Bishop d4, queen f3 next, or rook e1 maybe. Just rook e1 probably. Threaten some kind of sack here on e8. And if he goes like bishop f8, I can maybe just play knight takes d5 as well. So this is pretty ugly for black here. So b6. I'll just play queen f3. If bishop b7, I just take, and bishop takes f6. And then d4, knight d5 is just winning. So we'll see what he wants to do. Queen d6. Right, a5, b5 does not make sense. Is there any way to punish him here? Fortunately, it doesn't look like it. G4, g5, no, probably that's way too extravagant. a5, b5. Probably there isn't, so probably I just have to play simple moves, unfortunately. Just double the rooks. And play something like, I don't know, h3 maybe. I don't really want to take with the f-pawn. I'll just take with the rook. And now I'll take this way. I mean, this isn't really what I was hoping for, but it's still some kind of advantage. It's not much, but it's something. So knight e5, I'll play knight d2. I just want to play knight f3, maybe exchange. Knights take advantage of these weaknesses over here. So knight d7. I'll take, and now I'll play knight d1. Probably b3, knight f2, knight d3. Something along these lines is what I want to do, ideally, in a perfect world. Probably not going to get that, but... So bishop c6. And now let's see. So now I can play like b3 maybe? Just b3 probably. And if he takes, he still has this weakness here on b6 if he exchanges the bishops. So knight e4, I'll play knight f4. And now I'm threatening also to just take the pawn on b6 again. Okay, maybe it was better not to play knight f4. Maybe there was something better than this. But at any rate, we'll see. I'm just going to go back for some knight e5 tricks again. Knight g5. I'll play queen f1, I think. I have knight e6, maybe queen... Knight e6? Do I have bishop e8 here? Or knight e5, maybe? Not sure. I'll just play queen f3. I'll give him an extra move. And now took some of the time off the clock, and now I can blitz him again. And now he's also running into time issues here, so now I'll play queen c6, try to force an exchange of queens. I'll just take, and now queen e2, bishop e2, and g5, just queen c7. And so, alright, let's see. Oh, he played e4. Actually, he hasn't been playing e4. Is he going to play d4? No, he's not. Okay. Eric lately has been playing this weird rubbish with bishop c4 on move 3, so I wasn't sure. Okay, he wants to do this. At least this is a little bit different. This isn't standard now, so this should be interesting at least. Can play knight f6, f5 maybe. Maybe just knight d7, knight d6, just king f8, and not really sure what the knights are. The knight goes to f5, bishop f6, maybe g3, g6. I'm not really sure. It's kind of a weird position, so I'm going to play h5 and probably knight e4, just bishop e7, and play knight f6 next move. Now I'll go bishop d6, cut the until he has no bishop f4 now, and let's see. So now I have knight g4 maybe. I don't know if I want to take. I can definitely take here. Play h4, rook h5 maybe. It's all kind of a little bit weird. Fine, but I'll just take. I'll take and play like queen c7. Just play true traditional variations. And if c4, knight g4 probably. And g3, maybe h4, maybe. I'm not sure if I will do that, but probably I will. g3, h4, and bishop b2, I just take on g3. If he takes, I take on h4. If he takes, okay, knight e4, obviously I take. Takes. Okay, so let's see. So now I can play knight f6 maybe. I can also maybe play takes and rook h1 maybe. Or I can take and maybe play knight f2 or knight f2 right away. I think I'll just take. Now I think maybe I should play rook h1 and knight f6. Seems reasonable. Why not? Let's see what he's going to do here. So I'll check. King g2 obviously. Knight f6. Now let's see. I mean, maybe rook e2, maybe queen c6, or do I not have time for queen c6 here? Queen c6, king h1. I don't actually have time for it, so I guess I'll have to play rook h5. So d4, I'll take. If queen d4, just bishop c5 probably, or rook d8 maybe. Maybe just rook d8. This is a very dangerous position for white to be in here. It's also a lot harder to play for white than for black. So if bishop e2 probably, I mean I have many different moves. I'm probably my main threat here is bishop takes g3. If bishop e3, I mean I can play bishop takes g3 I think. I don't know if I want to. Queen c6 looks really, really strong. I don't actually see an answer to this the rook h2 check idea. So I'm just threatening rook h2 and queen takes f3 because of this this pin here on this diagonal. And I think this might just be losing. I mean, rook d1 fine, and now rook h2. And queen f3, and I think it's just over. So, alright, let's see. So, play knight f3 again. b3. Probably he'll play bishop f5 again. Same thing. Takes. a5, a3. I mean, some c4 stuff. Knight a6 is interesting. I wasn't really expecting that. c6, I'll play e4. Probably I'll play e5 at some point. Maybe like right away, in fact. And I'm just going to try and do something slow over here on the king side because it's not quite so clear what where black's play is here on the queen side. So b4, b5. Wow. Okay, now I think this is really dangerous for black because after I play f4, I've got a free hand here on the king side. So I'll take gf6. Okay, interesting. So I can play h5. I can play like I do have to be quick here because his plans are pretty straightforward. Play g4 maybe? I think I will play g4. I don't know if it's good, but it seems interesting at least. To try and basically play f5 and just lock his whole position down here. So he's going to have to play f5, g5, and then the game continues. So bishop d6. Okay, so I can play h5 maybe. I don't know if I want to. I think I'm going to play bishop c1, knight f3. Just keep everything as solid as I can. I don't really want to play h5. I think I'm going to do it though. So rook h8, h6, king h7, and this kind of has become rather drawish because of the blocked queen side. But maybe there's still some chances. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe if I can get something over here, like a sack on g6 at some point. Just going to try to redevelop my pieces, put them on some optimal squares, maybe like c3. Because his knight is not good here on c7. So maybe just like c3, rook a2, rook e2, and I just kind of just wait. Although that was a bad move because he had queen c7. But now I'll make sure that he doesn't get queen c7. I'll play rook a2, e2. And now king g3 to stop any tricks over here. And now I have to kind of come up with something. So let's see. So I'll put my rook over here. I'll develop everything. Maybe I'm not going to get that chance though, unfortunately. So I'll take dc4. Okay, but now after rook e2, maybe I can get something here actually, because now on knight d6 I have knight e5, or even d5 maybe. Ah, but he has knight b6. Oh, of course, obviously. And now it's just position's kind of too closed. I'll try to take and do something here, but it's very unlikely that I can. Yeah, it's going to be too hard to do anything, so. Probably just move on to the next game. That is, I mean, I don't know, unless he doesn't want. Maybe he wants to play on here? Or is he thinking, or is he lagging? Yeah, so. Alright, so. Okay, so this is probably going to be the last game that I play for now. I think there's another show coming up on Chess.com soon, so I'll probably cut it off here so that everyone can watch that show next. So this should be the last game. So bishop c4. I'll play similar to what I did last game. Maybe make it interesting. Okay, so here if I play d5, maybe it's bad. I'm not sure. Bishop e7, bishop b3, knight f6, knight d7, and I'm just going to play knight f6. I'll just castle. If he takes, I'll probably take with the knight. Not really sure. I guess I'll just play rook e8. Probably knight f1. This is going to be something really slow, unfortunately. Something which isn't going to be horribly exciting, most likely, for a last game. But I'll try to make it exciting. So bishop d6. I wanted to probably play knight f5. Okay, so he does take. So now I have a choice. I think I'm just going to take with the knight. And probably put this knight on e4. Probably bishop d4 or knight d4 also a possible move. And just rook d8. Put everything in the center here where there are no weaknesses. Probably bishop e5 looks fine. Bishop d4. Now maybe I'll play g6. Takes rook e5, knight d4. This rook e8. Pretty boring, but let's see. So I guess technically I'm threatening knight f2 or knight takes. Well, no, probably knight takes f2 is a simple threat. So maybe he'll take on e4, maybe not. Maybe queen d3. Maybe queen d3. Hard to play. Maybe it's fine. Maybe knight f3 also possible. He's in the deep tank though, so let's see. So queen c2. Okay, so this is not a move that I really considered. Maybe knight g4 here to... Yeah, I think I'll play knight g4. Try to make this as spicy, as complicated as possible, since it is the last game as well. So I'll try to make it interesting. Might backfire spectacularly, but let's see. So, not seeing any questions lately, but let's go. So, wait a second. So f3, and if I take, whoa, can't I just take on e5 and mate him? Oh wait, he's fg4 and he's somehow hanging on. Oh, he's fg4 and he's hanging on by a miracle. Okay, so he's hanging on by a miracle. So I can play knight e2 or check, queen up 2, knight e2. Probably just knight e2 right away. I mean, this again, it's very hard to play this position and hope for much. But rook f1, now I will just take the pawn on g4. Queen f2. I can play rook e7, maybe queen a7, d4. Looks pretty good. Queen a7, d4, queen b8, king g7, queen g3, takes. Better endgame at least. So h3, I'll play queen g5. If takes, d4 anyway. So he is using a lot of time here, I must say, debating whether to take the pawn. Although now if he takes the pawn, maybe I even a rook e2. Though I assume he's going to take the pawn here. I would assume, but I'm not sure. Okay, so yeah, so he does take the pawn. So d4, queen b8, king g7, rook f2. Now d3 is a move. D takes c3 is also a move. Probably I just take though, and play like queen c5 makes sense. Just threaten rook e1 check. And now I can just take this pawn. And he can take that one on rook e4. Okay, now I'll check, and I'm going to go rook e7 again anyway. Yeah, I think he's busted here. King h2, rook e7. And I don't see how he protects... He can't protect this bishop on f7 now, so... I think that should be it. So yeah, alright, so okay you guys, so I guess that's going to be the last game for now. I don't know when I'll do another one, probably not for a while since I do the Sinquefield Cup coming up. But at any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Even if I let Eric win a few more than he probably should have. But I'm sure I'll be back again soon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So until the next time, everyone, thanks for following, thanks for the donations, and looking forward to being back here again soon and hopefully winning some more games against Eric. So that's all for now. So take care, everyone. Have a good evening, good week and weekend, and I'll be back soon. So bye.